And we are live on another edition of the K&K Sports Show, March 22nd, 2023. We got most of the panel here, and let's get right to it. We got a big show tonight, so let's get right to the opening statements. Mr. Carson Shearer, you got the honors to start us off tonight.
Yeah, phenomenal weekend. My Lions made another huge splash in free agency. Sorry, Ryan, I took your boy CJ from the Eagles, but I couldn't be more thrilled. My Spartans are in the Sweet 16. Tom Izzo, there's January, February, and there's Izzo. So looking forward to a big game tomorrow night against Kansas State. And we got March Madness lined up tonight. So we got a bunch of stuff on the agenda. So let's get ready to roll.
All right, I will go next, boys. Since 2000, that's 23 years ago, the St. John's Red Storm have not won a NCAA tournament game, they have not made it to Friday night, meaning the semifinals of the Big East tournament. That is 23 years. That all changed yesterday. We got, I will say this, whether it's him, Mr. Pitino, or Mr. Izzo, one of the two best coaches in college basketball. He's a Hall of Famer. Seven Final Fours with three different teams, 2 national championships, and the Big East has changed. You know, there's no more Shaheen Holloway, Danny Hurley, Shaka. Rick Pitino is above and beyond the best coach in the Big East. It's not even close. He's hitting the recruiting trail today. The Big East changed yesterday. And let's go, Johnny's. Mr. Scoops.
How y'all doing? Don't really get the Shaheen Holloway dig, but it's fine. I'm happy for you.
The dig is he's not in Pitino's class. That's the dig.
No, fantastic end to the World Baseball Classic. Congratulations to the Japanese team. My condolences go out to Knick fans after losing Willis Reed at the age of 80. My prayers are up for free agent tight end Foster Moreau, who just announced he's been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and will be stepping away from the NFL. That's my opening statement. Let's get into some exciting stuff today.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, certainly not least.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for taking 2 of my stories in my segment later. You know, I wanted to talk about Willis Reed and Pitino, but you guys already hit on that. So, all joking aside, looking forward to a good show. Start with World Baseball Classic. We got our friend Jody Moncrief joining us for Bronco Mania later. And, let's get the ball rolling.
All right.
Oh, I forgot to mention happy birthday to David Slade.
Yes, good call, Ryan. Our good friend David Slade. Happy birthday, David.
Happy birthday, David.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, what we got going on?
Yeah, we're going to pass it off to Ryan. He's got a little World Baseball Classic Q&A style, I guess, for us. You know, whatever he wants to do, quick hitters. He wants to do a discussion. Ball's his. We got about a 15-minute World Baseball Classic with him.
Ryan, real quick before you go, we got a comment from our good friend Albert Knoppers. Watched him last night on the talking with the best Broncos show around. So what's up, Albert?
What's up, Albert?
Is that the guy who sent the message last week that he was like, and you were trying to pronounce it and you completely butchered it?
Yeah. I think it was. That's going to happen again.
That was funny. So as I alluded to in my opening statement, the World Baseball Classic just went down, and it was, I think we can all agree, a very compelling couple of weeks of baseball. However, obviously, a couple of things that came up, it's stories-wise. Obviously, there's the whole discussion going on right now about, guys saying, well, we want to represent our countries. It means a lot for us to represent, where we came from and all of that, whether that's Venezuela, whether that's Japan, whether that's Puerto Rico, wherever it is. And then on the flip side, you've got, these guys are getting hurt. We just saw Jose Altuve, one of the game's biggest stars, go down until likely perhaps June with a major injury sustained in a WBC game. So I know we touched on this a little bit in an earlier episode, but just, after having seen some of what's really transpired now and having gone through an entire WBC with having that full body of experience of what's happened, How would you address this? How would you, go about potentially trying to rescue the WBC for what it means for the players who do compete in it, but also make sure, or at least try to hedge against losing potential impact players for teams when the actual season starts? I'll do it in the order I see it. So I'll go with Kane's Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it two ways. At first, I was like, why are we even playing this World Baseball Classic? And then more and more, I read into it and started, following a little more. This is equivalent to the Olympics of,
Right.
Yeah, they have baseball in the Olympics, but it's like World Cup. This means a lot for countries like Japan. It means a lot for countries like Cuba. So it might not mean as much, and it means a lot to the USA also, but these other countries, it means a lot for these these countries to compete. And how I would go about it is like a lot of people are saying, Ryan, I would, I don't want to take thunder from Carson and Kurt. I would postpone it to the end of the season. Yeah, you're going to be involved with football, but you know what? Baseball fans are going to watch the baseball. And you know what? If you have an injury, at least there's time to recover for that injury. And if it's a season-long injury, then they can at least be prepared. I mean, we're going to get into some players that got hurt, but it's just going to be, give teams a little time to prepare. Now these teams don't have time to prepare for losing Altuve and for losing Diaz. But that's how I look at it. I don't want to take thunder from everybody else, so I'll let them speak a little bit. That being said, let's just get a quick hello from Joey Clams, who joined us. Joey's in the house.
What's up, Joey?
Hey, how you doing, Joey?
What do you say? How are you?
What up, Clamsy?
What's going on? You can
Not much. We're just hitting the baseball classic, Joe. We just started the baseball classic, but you got an opening statement for us all? We're waiting for it. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm all right. No, I'm good. I just want to know if you can hear me all right.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
No Goodfellas reference tonight.
Where's Spider? Spider here?
I'm right here.
There. Give me a cut of your water, Spider.
There he is, the one and only Joey Clams in the house. Let's go. Yeah, that's my take on it, Ryan. I would postpone it to the end of the season. And just, if the players want to play, they play. If they don't, the next one comes.
All right. I'll go in just the order that I see it. So, Mr. Valenti, what say you on this matter?
You know what, Scoops? I absolutely loved it. I really did. I loved it. And I'm going to disagree with Kenny. You're talking about professionals here, right? Like, I kind of think all these players were a little like, hey, we're going to be in the World Baseball Classic. I'm just not going to, start throwing when the Yankees and Mets start throwing, that they kind of got in a little shape. Everybody talks about injuries, right? It's not like people were tearing ACLs and, pulling hamstrings. I mean, one guy got hit by a pitch. The other guy got hit, got injured celebrating. So, I disagree. I think it is unbelievable for baseball. I think it was fantastic. First off, a couple other things. This is coming back in what, 26? Is it 2026 again?
Yeah,
right?
I believe it's every 3 years.
Okay, I want the same USA guys. If you weren't good enough to play on this team, the hell with you. You're not coming on the next one because all of a sudden this went. So you didn't sit on the back of the bus. I want these guys. These guys were true. They played for their country. They got first shot. If they want in, they come back. The other ones, sorry, you didn't want to be in. You're out next time. But I'll tell you, these other countries, man, Japan, again, congratulations. But I'm telling you, I was so into it. And again, I'm not the biggest. I'm a baseball fan. I don't have a favorite team, but I will just say this. Last night ended all conversations. The face of MLB is Ohtani. The best player in baseball, Ohtani. And I will say this. Since I've really watched baseball, right? And I'm not going to say Pete Rose. I was a little young when he played. He's the best player I've seen. I'm telling you right now, what he's doing, there's nobody in Major League Baseball even close to the face and the best player of baseball. So, but Scoops, I love it. I love it. Do it again. I can't wait for 2026 to see it again.
I don't disagree with that, saying that he's, in my opinion, he's the greatest player of all time. I just, who else are you seeing get, prime Miguel Cabrera numbers and Garrett Cole at the same time?
It's insane.
But Mr. Carson Shear, whose team took my cornerback, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up, Ryan? Yeah, no, I kind of agree with Kenny and Kurt. I think it's great for other countries like Cuba and Japan and Venezuela, who baseball is probably their most dominant sport. So, I mean, we alluded to this last week, how the fans go crazy for their team. So I think it's great for baseball, and I think it's great for ratings in general. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better finish last night. Mike Trout against Shohei Ohtani. What more do you want? That was awesome to see. Congrats again to Japan. That's really cool what they did. But again, it's how are these teammates now? Next for opening day starts next week, so you had all these guys prepare for the World Baseball Classic who are away from their teammates, and now they all of a sudden have to rejoin their clubs, and they got to gain chemistry and get into the flow of things again while all their other teammates are out in spring training. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust. I know they're all stars, but it does take some time to get used to chemistry and team bonding in general. So, I mean, injuries are going to happen. That's just a part of the way sports go. So I don't really see, I mean, they could schedule it after the World Series, but I think before opening day starts doesn't really seem to take much of a disadvantage either. So I think it was great all around. I watched some clips here and there on Twitter, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all these players now returning to their original ball clubs, and they got to get ready because opening day is next week. So are they going to be on pace? Are they going to struggle a little bit? Are they going to kind of get into the flow of things? It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Real quick, our good friend Mark Calderio saying good evening, gents. What's up, Mark?
All right. And Paisan, you got any thoughts on this for me?
Yeah, Kurt, you ever hear of a guy named Babe Ruth? He won games and hit 715 home runs.
I never said he's better than Babe Ruth. I said since I've been watching baseball, he's the best player I've seen.
No, I'm the one who said that.
Hey, Joe, do us a favor. Step back just a hair so the audience can see that beautiful face of yours. There you go.
Hey, Carson, there'll be no. They don't have to get back into chemistry because in spring training they do a lot of split squads, and these guys will face real live pitching every inning, and they'll fit right in. There's no, and it's baseball. There's really, there's no big like chemistry. They'll take a week or they're fine because they do play a lot of split squads in preseason and exhibition and all that. I don't think there's a problem. They'll get back in the flow. There's no big deal there. And yeah, I wouldn't mind it if they played it after the World Series or if they play it now. It's fine. Listen, when the Olympics are around, these guys go play for their countries and stuff. And there's a big chance in the middle of the season they get hurt. Could be season-ending injuries there. So, like Kurt was saying, you could get hurt anytime. And that guy Diaz got hurt for celebrating, and you're always going to get hit on the wrist anyway. And Altuve's a target, so that's my take on it.
All right, and our good friend Jody Moncrief, because he's saying he wants it after because now Altuve is going to miss 8 to 10 weeks.
Well, look at the Mets. They lost Edwin Diaz for a whole year, so.
But again, you can't blame the World Baseball Classic on that. That's just, I mean, stupidity on their part, celebrating like that. They could have been celebrating an NCAA tournament win. Like that. The baseball game didn't hurt Diaz.
It hurt Altuve.
I mean, it did, but he got hit. He could have got.
I'm just saying. I want the World Baseball Classic,
game.
but at the end of the year. That's what I'm saying. I want it at the end of the year. Anyway, it's every 4 years. It's every 4 years. Have it at the end of the year.
Well, and it also, if you did it at the end of the year, you've got players who go and play, Dominican ball, Venezuela winter ball, like all of that. So might just be something that you kind of line up with something like that. I don't know personally, but it's a possibility depending on where you actually locate it.
One last thing, Ryan. I read Max Scherzer said he would not play in this because you're not ready, pitcher ready, this early in the season. That's Max Scherzer, Kurt, saying that.
Yeah, and that's
top 3 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, in my opinion, the greatest pitcher of this era. Keeping Ohtani out of that conversation, but and my next question is: we had a couple of really interesting stories come out of the World Baseball Classic that kind of, I think, flew under the radar a little bit, because obviously the big talk was obviously who was winning, how's Ohtani doing, how's the USA team, all of that. There were a couple of interesting stories that caught my attention. I just wanted to get some of your opinions on this. So we had the Tigers going a couple weeks ago. There was a pitcher who struck out 3 big name players, and he ultimately inked a deal from after playing for Team Nicaragua. He was signed by the Detroit Tigers. It's a player by the name of Duque Heber, I think, as I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then there's another story, a catcher, bullpen catcher from Cuba. I believe his name is Ivan Prieto Gonzalez, who has defected from his home country in Miami, seeking to perform in Major League Baseball. Either one of these stories particularly compelling to y'all to follow going forward? I'll go to Kurt.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, they're both definitely compelling stories. I like the one where you said the guy got the, he made the Tigers, right? Went to the Tigers.
Right.
I mean, we see this in so many sports though, right? Like you could look and say XFL guys, oh, they're doing good. They get NFL tryouts, right? Same thing, basketball, G League, and all kinds of this. So why not? Listen, they're playing against pros, right? This is really their best tryout. What's the point of seeing, okay, a guy from the Pirates is going to play a guy from the Phillies, but they're all going to play their minor league guys. Here you're playing American, the USA guys or, pros. And so, you know what, if you could shut them down, hey, I mean, there's your tryout, there's your interview. So I think we'll see that more and more and more and more. And I think it should be like that. So I like it.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right. Carson, well, you might have a little bit more of a vested interest in one of them because, so I'll ask you a little bit of a different question then. What did you see from Heber when he struck out Soto, Rodriguez, Devers, 3 actually of the game's best bats? It's not like he's just striking out, guys who are at the edge of rosters. You excited to see what he's going to do potentially in Detroit? And do you think that he has a potential future at the major league level for you guys?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, like Kurt just said, these guys are on the biggest stage going up against the best of the best in their respective countries. So when I saw the news broke about a week ago that the Tigers are picking this kid up, I'm all for it. The Tigers are a mess as it is. We need all the help we can get. And it's great that these kids can show out their skills in front of the world to see. So looking forward, and I'm rooting for Duque for sure.
Yeah. I also love just from the name Duque from Orlando Hernandez 20-some years ago. It's just cool to have another Duque back in the league. Joey Clams, what's have you been following either of these?
And I gave it to Carson about a month ago. Japan plus 4-1. How you doing, baby? Plus 4.
I didn't even know that there was betting going on for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Clams will find the next person walking across the street.
Listen,
they're black or
Joey
yellow.
Clams might notice.
Over under 10 seconds.
I got a quick 30-second story for Joey Clams will probably notice. I went to a birthday party on Saturday, and apparently we were playing this game called Pass the Pigs. You ever hear of that, Joey Clams? It's a gambling game.
No.
You throw these little pigs and they land a certain way and you get points. And people bet on this stuff. It's hilarious. You got to look it up. It's called Pass the Pigs. I thought you would have known what it was, Joe. But yeah, you get these 2 little pigs and you throw them. And if they land a certain way, you win. If a dot, one of the sides of the pig has a black dot. If it lands on the black dot, you lose. So people would bet on anything. That was my point when Joey said he bet Japan. People would bet on anything in this world. So remember, look up that name, Pass the Pigs.
And Hey, Scoops, El Duque was he was money. There was nobody who wanted to have the ball in a big spot than El Duque back in.
Yeah, no, I'm 22 years old, so I didn't really see him at his best. He's one of a couple of players. Another one is Pedro Martinez with the Expos. I wish that I had gotten to see those guys in their prime because going back and looking at the highlights is quite something.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, El Duque was money. When you gave him the ball, Yankees were down in '98. They were down 2-1 in Cleveland, facing to go back down 3-1. El Duque came in and took the ball and shut down the Indians, and that was they didn't lose a game the rest of the year and won the World Series in '98, sweeping the Braves. What a line!
Yeah, when I because I didn't know the player's name, so I went back to look up this story because I remember hearing the story, just didn't know the player's name. And I went back and I saw that his name was Duque. I was like, oh, that just adds a whole nother level to this story.
Bet the pigs.
But I gotcha. So, and then I guess the last question that I'll ask is this basically, did you expect it to end like this with it being, Japan versus USA? And did you think that, Japan was ultimately going to be the team that won, or did something surprise you about the way that it ended up?
You talking?
What'd you say?
You talking to me?
Wait a minute, Ryan. I gotta read this comment.
Go ahead, and you sounded like Robert De Niro just then.
This is from Sis. Yeah, I guess he's talking about Saturday night. And he came home on roofies. Imagine that.
Yeah, I thought Japan was great odds at 4-1 to get there with an easy bracket. United States, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican are in this bracket. So I was all over Japan. And it proved at 4-1.
Shot.
Yeah, no, that was a solid play by you, Joey Clams, as usual. I'll go reverse order. Let's Carson, what's your were you surprised at anything with the way that this thing shook down, or?
As soon as Joey told me Japan, I'm like, you know what? I'm riding with Clams. I threw $5 and I'm like, what the hell? And sure enough, Japan pulled it off. So how you doing, Joey Clams?
$5.
Joe, you could take Carson out for sushi one night.
Yeah, I was gonna say $5. That's not really pizza money. That's iced tea
sushi money.
And Mr. Valenti.
You know what? I'm glad that it did. I don't know if it's what I thought, but I'm glad that it did because you know what? It's building that little rivalry, right? Because now it went what? Japan, USA, back to Japan, right? That's how it's the championship. So now it's 2-1, 2-1. So now, like make it meaningful for US, like let's make it where when they play again, hey, it's a little payback and I like that little rivalry.
Well,
but
I'm going to tell you, the fundamental baseball team won.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. Fundamental baseball.
Yeah. And you know what, Clams? That just showed, we argue about this every time, but it just showed you. That's true baseball. That's true baseball. Not get up and try to hit 3 home runs. That's true baseball. Yeah. And it proved that baseball will always beat this fake baseball that these players that they're trying to do now. Just it always happens.
I got one thing. If I could just
softball.
I didn't get to watch much because unfortunately I had to work. But when I heard USA Japan, you know what I thought of first, Ryan? Little League baseball. Because you always see the U.S. kids, and they're always most of the time they're facing Japan or somebody over out there, and it just felt like an adult version of the Little League World Series to me. So that's what I liked about it. And then storybook ending. Ohtani gets to face Trout 3-2.
Yeah,
Ohtani won this battle. We'll see if Trout and Ohtani play in 4 years, but maybe they'll get a rematch in 4
Kenny,
years.
can I just I want to ask you one question, Kenny, okay? Because I heard this on the K show today, and I totally agree with Kay on this. He said you have to give all the respect to Ohtani because he put everything on the line last night, right? Everything. Not meaning if he's going to strike him out, but you know what? Came out of a bullpen. He was throwing 101, 102, in that relief inning. I mean, this guy is the biggest star in baseball, and he didn't worry, I got to get hurt. You know what? He put that team on his back. He delivered, and I just give him all the credit in the world for, going out there and going all in. He did.
You know what it is with Japan? It hit with Ohtani. the country comes first.
Yeah.
Angels.
Yeah.
His country comes first before the Angels, So that's, that's how
We'll
it is.
see. Ryan, we'll see if he's saying that in 4
lot of
years when he's a Yankee.
Hmm.
If the Yankees or Japan comes first, we're going to see in 4 years.
He'll be in New York, but he ain't going to be wearing the Yankees.
I'll be very curious to see because I was when I saw the Trout versus Ohtani, I think that a sleeper team for Ohtani this year is going to be the Mariners. He wanted the West Coast. He wanted a not huge market. They've got the significance in Japan with guys like Iwakuma and Ichiro. So I'll be curious to see if that happens, we'll be seeing this matchup for years to come, which would be fantastic for baseball, obviously.
But my last thing for this, Ryan, and agree or disagree, I'm going to ask Clams because he's level-headed. I'm going to ask Clams and Carson.
What the hell does that mean?
They're the two level-headed baseball. I will tell you right now, if the Angels are out of it, I'm going to start with Carson. Agree or disagree with me? Angels are out of it. And the Angels, they know he's not coming back here. So we got to trade him. There is nobody. I don't want to hear Alvarez from the Mets, Volpe, and anybody. Whoever the Angels want, you go get Ohtani. Agree or disagree, Carson?
100%.
Everybody's available for Ohtani.
Yeah. Give me Ohtani. Sign me up. Take anybody you want. I think he's the best player in the world.
Me too. Clams.
Oh, absolutely. Probably, like All-Star break, Angels are 8.5, 9 games out. Trout's on the DL again. You got to make the trade. You got to do it because you can't. You don't want this guy getting away for nothing at free agency.
No. But I'm saying on the other side, I don't care who they want. I don't care. I'm making the trade. I don't care what they want. I want Ohtani.
Yeah, you put a package, whatever they want together to sweeten it. Whatever you got to do, you got to get this guy.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a big market team, and if you're the Yankees, you don't have any lefty hitters on your team, which is mind-boggling when you got down the line is 312 down the line. Every year the Yankees won a World Series loaded with lefty lineup. Loaded with lefty, single hitters, home run hitters, but lefties. Look down the line. Scoops, I know you're a Yankee fan. You're only 22 years old. I'm trying to educate you. Cashman is a fraud. When he said 5 years ago, lefties are going to be out of baseball, and he went with a heavy righty softball lineup, and he had Butchers at first base, Butchers at third, Butchers in the outfield, all righty. You're in Yankee Stadium. You need lefties. You can't win without lefties if you're the Yankees.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick. What are you? That was good, Scoops. That was really good with the baseball classic.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it worked, right? I think it worked. I know a couple of people, Met fans, probably aren't happy. Jody's not happy. He's still picking the Astros to win it, Kenny. So I know you said you didn't see much, but
I didn't get to watch much. Yeah,
that was good. So, what do you want? Okay. A little hoops, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, anybody got anything else baseball? Because we're a little behind, so we're going to try and pick up the pace a little bit. We won't do too much with the. What was that, Joe?
I think they should shorten the season to maybe 152. Start the playoffs like the last week of September, like that, and then these games go into November. It's too long. And it's 162 games. A lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of games.
Yeah, definitely, Joe. I'm going to shorten the first 2-round recap so we could catch up a little bit. Nobody's fault. We just fell a little behind. So we had the first 2 rounds. Biggest story, obviously, were the upsets in the first round. I'll go in the order I see it. First question, Kurt. I know the easy one is Purdue, Fairleigh Dickinson, but what was another upset that really shocked you as part of the world?
Listen, shocked me. I mean, I know you're probably going to go as UVA, but it's just, and I know I'm going to talk low so Jenny Hoops don't hear me because I don't want to deal with her later, but it's the same song and dance with this guy, man. He plays this archaic garbage system that every time he gets to the NCAA tournament, he falls flat on his face. And it's just, I'm telling you, and the same thing with Painter, and you guys are going to laugh
Well,
at
hold
me.
off on Painter because that's my next question.
Okay,
So
well, you
just
know
an
what?
upset.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about Fairleigh
Virginia.
Dickinson, Purdue in this
Virginia.
question, but who was
Virginia.
another upset?
Virginia.
I like that one. Carson, you got one that really shocked you?
Yeah, obviously, I think Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue. That was awesome to see. Princeton, I'm really shocked by. I think it's the second time ever a 15 seeds made the Sweet 16. So that's cool for Princeton, the Ivy League in general. And then Arkansas knocking off the defending champs. When your coach's last name is Muscle Man, you gotta have a fighting chance. So that was cool to see as well when he took his shirt off.
Before Princeton was mine, Furman, I picked them in the bracket. That was like my first round upset. Was my pick to go to Sweet 16. They fell a little short, but they did get that one upset. No matter who they played, I told Kurt that. And of course, they played Virginia. And then second round upset, I'm going to go with Carson's boys, Michigan State. And we're going to get into Shaka Smart in a little bit as well, because Kurt has a question for everybody dealing with coaches. But Michigan State really put their foot down. And to me, the game, it got close, Carson, but to me, Michigan dominated that game. Michigan State, Spartans dominated that game. So that one surprised me a lot on how dominant they looked at against Marquette. So those were my picks as well. Ryan, you got a surprise one or two games that surprised you?
Yeah, so in the first round, I would say probably my biggest surprise of a loss was either Arizona or because obviously I had them going pretty far, and then the other one would probably be like you said, obviously Fairleigh Dickinson going over Purdue. Besides that, I had a Final Four. 3 of my Final Four teams are still in. My bracket's actually doing fairly well, all things considered. But Marquette was one of my Final Four teams. So them losing to the Spartans again. Congratulations, Carson. I'll be rooting for them against Kansas State tomorrow. But them losing to Michigan State was definitely a surprise to me. I had Marquette as one of my 4 Final Four teams.
Joey, and then I'll give you 2 questions back to. I'll give you get to start the next question, so you at least get a start.
On Kurt about Virginia. What Virginia's problem is when they get behind, they can't play from behind, and then you can see in this tournament teams that like the favorites that started out late, they came back like UConn, Xavier, they could play from behind. So, and this is not a shock; it's a shock that Kentucky still has this guy as the coach. This guy is horrible as a coach. Calipari's not an NFL coach. But Kentucky can recruit themselves. Go get a real coach in Kentucky. This guy is terrible.
Carson, you might be, if I was you, I'd be going for that Oscar Tshiebwe. That kid's a beast, man. Yeah. I would want him on my team.
Mm-hmm.
But next question I'll give to Joe. Well, the biggest upset, Joe, Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue, obviously, in this tournament so far.
They should be ashamed. Okay.
It should be a shame. But my question was, is this a bigger upset than Maryland, Baltimore County over Virginia?
Oh, yes, it is. You got 3 guys that are over 7 feet going against guys 5'8", 6'4", 6'6". So biggest guy in the team is what, 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah.
Against a team that didn't even belong there, they get in on a technicality because the team with the best record in that conference couldn't get to the tournament because they were only first-year Division I. For some reason, not allowed in the tournament. But they lost in their conference, and they were able to get to this tournament, and they beat Purdue. Purdue ashamed of them. That's embarrassing. I mean, I wouldn't even show my face. I had page drawn for about a year.
Yeah. Kurt, I'm not going to give you this question from Jody because I know where you're going to go. So the only person that's going to answer this fair, in my opinion, who knows the most about basketball is Carson. It's from Jody. Carson, is Tony Bennett, head coach of Virginia, overrated even with the ring?
No, I wouldn't say he's overrated. I think bouncing back from losing to a 16 seed and then following up the next year winning a national championship. They're going to make a 60 for 60 documentary on that story. So I wouldn't say he's overrated. I think he's still a really good coach.
Okay. Kurt, why don't you, because I want to catch up, so I'm not going to ask everybody the questions. Why don't you give us your question you had with the coaches?
I mean, my question is just for a blank, and I was talking to Clams off the air, and, you know, when I mentioned this to Clams is like, I mean, why is Matt Painter still the head coach? And I'm just going to say this flat out. If you want, I mean, I wouldn't keep Matt Painter. In 2 years, he lost to St. Peter's and he lost to Fairleigh Dickinson with, I mean, pros, a 7-2 guy. Last year, he had Jaden Ivey and all these other guys.
7-2, he's 7-4.
Or 7-4, whatever he is. And, you know, Jaden Ivey, they had the kid Williams, plus they had, it's mind-boggling. 2 years in a row, like Clam said, I would fire him on the spot. But next year, it's Final Four or you're done. Like, you're Purdue now. You were the number one team for the majority of the season, and you can't get out of round one? I mean, that's disgraceful. Every year it's like this with this guy, you know? Every year. So do you agree or disagree with me? I'll start with Clams. If you do bring him back, which I wouldn't, but they're going to bring him back. So they bring him back, Clams, next year. Would you tell him, Final Four or you're done?
Oh, I would. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even let him back in the building. Of course, if they are letting him back, that's what you have to do. You got to run through the Big Ten, which was mediocre at best. And Carson will tell you, you know, they're competitive between themselves, but when they get outside, you know, except for Michigan State because they got the coach. He knows how to coach this time of the year. But everybody else is woof.
Carson, a good friend of your stream, Brad, is saying hello. And infectious
up,
Brad,
Brad?
you'll see that on Carson's stream. We don't
up,
have
Brad?
access to that game on our stream over here. So you're going to have to wait until after 9 p.m. for that, Brad.
Ryan,
we're doing good. Good to hear from you.
Ryan, you agree with me on that? Where if you bring in this guy back, I mean, no Final Four next year, we got to move on. I mean, they haven't been to the Final Four. What'd you say, Clams? 1980? I mean, come on. Like, come on now. What do you think, Clams? You agree with me or disagree with me?
I don't even want it. He shouldn't be
Oh,
there.
so, I'm sorry, Ryan. I meant to Ryan. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I think that this is not only is it obviously a results-driven business, but we're having a lot of dynasty isn't really the word, but like we're having a lot of historic coaches and programs. It's kind of a changing of the guard right now. We've got, you know, Krzyzewski went out, Jim Boeheim's out. You know, it's been a lot of turnover with elite coaches the last few years. So now is the time where if you're going to start really making some headway as a new program and kind of break through the Kansas, the UNC, like some of the teams that have really been on top for the last however many years, this is the time to do it. So, you know, and it goes for many coaches, not just him.
Carson.
Yeah, it's Matt Painter should be ashamed of himself. I mean, you got, in my opinion, the greatest upset in the history of all sports. This Fairleigh Dickinson wasn't even supposed to be in March Madness. They got in because the team they lost to in their conference championship, Merrimack, was transitioning from D2 to D1. Purdue was the fourth number one seed. So that was like number 4 going up against the final team that made the tournament in number 68. And you're telling me you can't close that out? And the year prior, St. Peter's, 15 seed. The year prior to that, North Texas, a 13 seed, a 12 seed in 2016 in Arkansas Little Rock. It's an absolute disgrace. It's horrible for the Big Ten in general. And Matt Painter has got to figure this out. It was a disgrace. I couldn't agree more, Kurt. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Dickinson is a 10-minute walk from my.
Kenny, what do you think?
Well, Matt Painter is famous in one state, and that's my home state, and Kurt Clams is state of New Jersey.
Yeah, right.
And I
You're
hear
gonna build a statue up
I
in
hear there's a statue being made as we speak at Fairleigh Dickinson, a bronze statue, and there's already one at St. Peter's. So he's got 2 statues already going for him in New Jersey. So if he wants, he can come to New Jersey and be New Jersey's most valuable coach. But yeah, he's got to go. I mean, enough's enough. You can't. We're not losing to like Carson said. A big upset earlier was Arkansas Musselman. You lose to Arkansas, that can happen. It can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not losing to a Big East team. You're not losing to a Pac-12 team. You're losing to a team that didn't even win the
Who had
Northeast
4 wins
Conference.
last year as a program. 4 wins.
No excuse. No excuse. I mean, do you see how Edey looked next to these kids? Why are you not giving this kid the ball 40 times?
All healthy too. Couldn't get it done.
So yeah, he's proven to me he's not a good head coach, and you know, he's got to go, and hopefully they do. And as for the other guys, Kurt, that you mentioned to me, you mentioned Shaka Smart. Hey, I give him props. He got to the second round this year, but he's another one.
First
He's
time
another
in
one.
forever.
He's another one. You know, your team is in a dogfight against Michigan State, and you're doing breathing exercises on the sidelines during crunch time of a game.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Why? Because he didn't have anything to say to the kids. He didn't know what to say. So, okay, take it easy. We're going to do a breathing exercise.
You know what? It gets boring when you listen, but when they always say, you know, come NCAA tournament, since like in our lifetime, Izzo, Pitino, Krzyzewski, no matter what those teams are, right? Everybody said Michigan State's down. They're playing tomorrow night, right? He figured it out, right? He figured it out somehow. Shock. And I said this I swear, ask Jenny Hoops before the game. I said, Tom Izzo is worth 8 points in this game compared to Shaka Smart. And you know what? That was the difference because he just completely outcoached him. Shaka Smart, like you're saying, Kenny, he's jumping around, running around. What did he do? He made no adjustments. What adjustments did he make? None. All
right, there's going to be no line that beats this one tonight, guys. Johnny Beelan, look at this starting 5. Good evening, fellas. Good show so far.
Not be on.
Well, who would be our big man?
I think our starting 5 would beat Purdue with Matt Painter.
Clams, can you handle Edey?
Oh yeah. Another thing too, with Izzo said he to play Friday. There was no adjustment.
We got to do like Kurt's dad did. Kurt's dad coached Kurt and I. Kurt was the point guard. He would shoot the 3. Kenny would be underneath getting the rebounds. Carson would be the shooting guard. Ryan, small forward, and Joey Clams the power forward.
He's got to be the power forward.
I'm a forward.
Beelan would be our coach. Beelan would be our coach.
You do not want a 5'5" forward who can't move.
Oh wait, Beelan said it. Carson at the 5, Kenny at the 4, Clams at the 3, Ryan at the 2, and me at the 1. There you go.
I like it.
I can see that.
And we would beat Matt Painter and Edey for sure.
I got a comment for Carson. He's gonna answer. A question from Jody. What's more important to the school, winning championships or kids graduating?
Oh boy, I think graduating. That's a big thing for everybody in general. Because I mean, less than 1% of all college athletes go pro. So you got to get that degree first. But I think winning a championship is pretty big time too. But if I had to pick, I think education for sure.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Let me do a couple quick hitters for round 2, and then we're going to get into wits and wagers, Joey Clams portion of the show.
Okay.
So we're going to do these quick so we could catch up. Okay, I got a couple questions. I'll start with Kurt. Kurt, what underdog in the Sweet 16 has the best chance to reach the Elite 8?
Any underdog? That's an underdog tomorrow or Friday?
Yeah.
Gonzaga.
Okay. Carson.
An underdog. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kurt and Gonzaga. I would pick my boys, but we're actually favored in the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
I could not believe that line
that's right.
when I saw that. So we'll see how that goes. But if I had to pick an underdog, I'd go Gonzaga.
Ryan, you got an underdog?
An underdog. Let me look.
I'll
I
give you a
would.
couple seconds if you want to study it. I'll go to clams. Just take a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
seconds.
Just let me look at my bracket for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
Me too. Look, wearing the hat. Me too.
There you go.
Clam said it earlier to me. Best backcourt in the tournament left in the best backcourt.
Very good coach.
Yep.
Great coach.
Did you find one there, Ryan?
Excuse me. I'll say, you know what? I'll just say San Diego State because I think Bama is in a lot of people's championships. So I think that would be pretty significant if San Diego State were able to overtake them. Excuse me. Say again.
I like that.
Oh,
Ask him.
Let's go to one more question so we can get into wits and wagers because I'm looking at the time. Which matchup, Kurt, are you looking forward to watching this week the most?
Oh, Gonzaga, UCLA.
I'm with
I
you.
think that's going to be a phenomenal game.
I'm with you for many reasons. In our bracket challenge that Carson and we teamed up for, I have Gonzaga winning it all. So I got a big game this weekend. Let's go, nice. Gonzaga. Carson, which matchup are you looking forward to? Obviously, Michigan State, right?
Yeah, I go tomorrow, Kansas State, MSU. It should be a really good game. We'll see what Tyson Walker and A.J. Hogarth can do. I think Tyson Walker, kind of his homecoming, transferred from Northeastern a few years ago, came back. It's going to be really, really interesting. 7 versus 3, and we're favored. That tells you something. Coaching matters in the tournament. I'm going to go with the best coach left. Give me Tom Izzo. So that's the matchup I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Kenny, Jody's giving us a little breaking news today. Shrewsbury is now the new head coach. He was Penn State. He is now the new Notre Dame head coach.
So he's a good little coach over there. So I like that move.
Yep.
It's underrated name. So he'll probably turn that Notre Dame program around. Ryan, you got a matchup you're looking forward to?
Yeah. So the only matchup tomorrow that, or in the next couple of days, rather.
It could be tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, the only matchup in the next couple of days that can't screw my bracket up, depending, no matter which way it goes, is against. Pardon me. Sorry. Is here. My thing just screwed up. Here we go. Okay, it's Creighton versus Princeton. Neither one of those teams. I had Arizona coming out of that part of the bracket, so neither one of those teams was projected in my bracket to get to this round. So I'll be curious to see which one of them advances. Just since I didn't really buy into either one of them.
Clams, what game are you looking forward to the most?
UConn.
Nice. That's a good one. I think it's going to be a really good game. Hurley's doing a nice little job in this tournament. Kurt was down on the Hurley brothers, so this one's the
watch out for the dog. Look at the dog is live in that game.
Speaking of dogs, let's do it, Kurt. Let's get into something we haven't done in weeks, and let's bring Wits and Wagers. Joey Clams is with us tonight, so let's do Wits and Wagers Sweet 16 style tonight, Kurt. So you know how we roll. You take over. You give us the games, and we'll pick. We'll do our picks.
Well, let's start with game number 1, and Mr. Carson Shear will pick last on this. We'll open it up with Clam since he's the Wits and Wagers guy.
Looking forward to this.
Carson's Michigan State Spartans.
Make sure you give totals too.
A 1 totals. What else you want? They are a 1.5 point favorite over Kansas State. But just because you're on the show, I will get you your total, so I don't have to hear all day from Mar. Total is 137.5. 1.5, 137.5. What do you got, Clams?
I got Michigan State the other day on the money line, and I like Michigan State. I thought Kentucky left the door open for Kansas State. I thought Kentucky should have beat them, but they don't have the right coach there, and they got a bad situation going on there. And it was that Blue Cats. So give me. I like Michigan State. That's one of my plays. I played already on the money line.
Nice.
Go green, go white. And
here we go, Joey.
So he's the last of the crybabies left. Krzyzewski's gone, and Syracuse is Bohine. He's gone too. They were those left on the crybaby, but he's a great coach.
Do you guys just see what Joey Clams did? He cried for 10 minutes that I didn't give him an over-under, and he didn't even pick it. He didn't even pick it.
Doesn't matter. You got to give it out.
I did 137.5. I gave it to you.
I don't have a play on that. I got to play.
Oh, yeah, you know, I'm a play. All right, I'm gonna go, Kenny. You know, I'll be honest. For the show, I'm gonna take Michigan State. I would take the money line. I would never do 1.5. But I'm gonna do an alternate line in this game tomorrow. I don't know which way. Either like Kansas State plus 11.5 or Michigan State plus 9.5. I think it'll be a close game. But for the show, I will take Michigan State to win. Ryan.
Kurt, well, hold on, Kurt. Jody's your boy, but this may be the first time you totally disagree with him. Jody Moncrief is saying Izzo's second best coach behind Rick Barnes of Tennessee. Kurt,
you know what? I'm gonna do what this is Michael Briggs style. I didn't see that message. I'm just taking.
Jody
that
saying no. Kurt is totally off of Rick Barnes.
No. I am not a Rick Barnes fan at all. He did
8 Final Fours going for number 9.
He did outcoach. He did outcoach Shire the other day. I'll give him credit, shockingly. So. But and I'm probably going to pick them in 2 more bets when we get over there. So I'm going to hold my breath with that one. Ryan, Michigan State, Kansas State tomorrow.
You said Michigan State's the 1.5 point favorite?
Yes.
I don't know if I'll take them to go outright, but I am going to take Kansas State to cover here.
Okay. Kenny.
I made a huge mistake in this bracket. And when I was looking at this bracket, I saw Purdue, Painter, no. Shaka Smart, no. Rick Barnes, I keep calling him Matt Barnes because of Cobra Kai. Rick Barnes, no. Shire, brand new, no. So I was looking, I was like, Calipari or Izzo? And of course I went with Calipari.
Actually, Kenny, it's Mike Barnes, not Matt Barnes on Cobra Kai too. I think it's Mike Barnes.
Okay, Matt Barnes.
Yeah, Matt Barnes just for the Red Sox.
All these Barnes are all in trouble.
Yeah, but I'm not making that mistake twice. I'm going Izzo all day long. Go Spartans. They're going to win this game by 4 to 6 points. They're going to win this game.
All right, and then of course, last but not least, Mr. Shear.
Yeah, it's put up or shut up time for Izzo. You know, he's 25th year in a row making the tournament. He's got a really good matchup going against Kansas State, who, in my opinion, we beat the best team in our region left in Marquette. And now we got the 3C Kansas State. You know, they're kind of on the rise. They got really good guards. So we'll see what happens. You know, I was looking at the line. I'm like, wow, I can't believe we're a 1.5 point favorite. And I think a lot of it was because of who we beat in Marquette. And like Joey said earlier, I was watching that Kentucky-Kansas State game. Kentucky should have closed the door shut. They had a pretty substantial lead, and then Kansas State basically came rolling right back. So I got to go with my boys tomorrow. I think Malik Hall's got to be the X factor of this team. Joey Hauser's got to keep shooting the ball well. Tyson Walker, you're going to hear his name a lot tomorrow. He's shooting almost 50% from the field so far in the tournament. AJ Holgard's got to have a big game. And yeah, give me Coach Tom Izzo, man. He's the best coach by far left in this tournament, and he's going to the Elite Eight. And we're either going to play either Tennessee or FAU. So give me MSU. Go green.
All right, let's roll to the next game. The darlings of Joey Clams, the UConn Huskies, are a 4.5 point favorite over Arkansas. I will start this one with Mr. Kirkpatrick.
This one's tough. You said UConn's a 4.5 point favorite?
Yes, and over under 139.5.
I'm going to take the points here. Arkansas coming off a huge win over Kansas. I know it wasn't the Bill Self-led Kansas Jayhawks. He was sick, and hopefully he's doing a lot better. I haven't read up on how he's doing, but hopefully he's doing better. But it was the assistant coach running that team. But that being said, though, Arkansas's got a little momentum. So does UConn. This is going to be a nail-biter type of game. I'll take the 4.5 in Arkansas for the show. But this is a game I'm going to stay away from.
All right, Carson.
Off the show.
Yeah, I don't like this game too much either. But for the show, I'll go Arkansas on the points. I really like what they did. Really impressive performance, beating the number 1 seed, the defending champ. So I think UConn's going to win outright, but I'll take the points in Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm exactly with Carson. If I do something tomorrow, I will take. I just do not like any laying any kind of points. I don't because you're up by 7. Okay, now you win the game. UConn, they give up an uncontested 3. You don't cover. I don't like it. I'll do what Carson says. I will money line UConn tomorrow.
Well, you want to hear bad beat? Go ahead, Kurt, and I'll tell you about bad beat.
This is what scares me. This is where UConn should easily win this game tomorrow. Bigger, stronger, right? But this is where Danny Hurley again. He's I don't know, just not a fan of him in these kind of games. But I will take him tomorrow, but not big time, but money line them.
Well,
Ryan,
I'll tell you real quick. A little birdie told me this story. 14 parlay lost because of Gonzaga letting the 3-pointer go up as the buzzer sounded, and
2 plus 4.5, baby.
ECU backdoor cover, man.
There was the backdoor cover, and birdie lost because a 14 parlay because of that half.
Don't like it.
Half
don't
a
like
second.
Doing it.
And that's why you do money lines, I guess,
money
right,
lines.
Jeff? Yeah.
Ryan.
Birdie learned his lesson, trust me.
Ryan.
No, this game seems radioactive to me. I would money line the Huskies. I wouldn't take the spread on this game.
Clams.
I'm first of all, let me a little birdie had that in a parlay plus the 4.5, and we cashed in on that Sunday night into Monday. Beautiful. I slept like a baby. Give me Pig Suey here. Give me Razorbacks. Connecticut in the first 2 games played. Sometimes if they played a bad half, they need to play good both parts. Good half of the first. Arkansas is going to be running up and down too. Connecticut, but this is close. Connecticut squeaking out, but give me the Hawks plus the 4.5.
Okay, we'll move on. We got. I'll start this one with scoops. FAU against Jody Moncrief's Tennessee. Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorite over under 129.5, but Tennessee minus 4.5 scoops.
All right. Let me see. Excuse me. I'm gonna say. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna rock with the Huskies here.
No. I'm sorry. FAU Tennessee.
I didn't mean to say Huskies. I meant to say Vols.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll go next after you. I'm with you. I hate to say it, but I am not a Rick Barnes fan by any means. Jody's saying Rocky Top boys, but Tennessee impressed the hell out of me against Duke because Duke was maybe one of the hottest teams in the country, and that defense was insane. FAU, I like them. I played FAU a lot this year, but I think with the extra time, the physicality, I think Tennessee will slow it down, and I think Tennessee wins, covers. I'm going to go Tennessee. Kenny.
Kurt, help me out. I don't want to get the kid's name wrong.
Boyd.
What is it? Boyd?
Boyd.
Huge local kid. Kurt and Jen do a high school show, and a big school that supports them, St. Mary's in Rutherford. This has got one of the kids. He's a sophomore, Boyd, right? So you know his first name, or
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so I'm going to go sentimental here, and I'm going to root for Florida Atlantic in this game, and I'm going to take the points here and hope they pull off the not just the cover, but they pull the upset off and get to the Elite Eight and watch this kid, that local product from where we live, Kurt, see if they can advance to the Elite Eight. So a little sentimental pick. I'll be rooting hard for them come tomorrow night.
Carson.
Yeah, if we get by Kansas State, we play the winner of either Tennessee or Florida Atlantic. So as a fan, I'm rooting for Florida Atlantic, but I got to go with Jody's team with Tennessee. This kid, Vescovi, he can really shoot the basketball. I think think Rick Barnes is due to make a deep run. Give me the Volunteers to cover. I think Florida Atlantic, their team, I don't know, kind of controversial the other day when they were up like 6 points. The guy did a 360 windmill dunk and missed it. The crowd booed. Not really showing true sportsmanship there, so I think it's going to kind of bite him in the rear end. Give me Tennessee.
Clams.
Yeah, the reason why Duke lost, they have all 18-year-olds on the team. In Tennessee, you can see how physical they bullied them around the court for 40 minutes. They got players on their team, 21, 22, 23. They got a 25-year-old on that team, I think. And I think Florida Atlantic is a little more physical than Duke. I think Florida Atlantic can hang with them. I'm going to take a shot with the Owls.
Oh, boy,
Okay.
Joe.
4.5. Give me Florida Atlantic, and my boy goes to the school there, Michael Lobacaro, the Bear, a.k.a. Lumpy. He goes there, so let's go Owls. He had
Let's go
Owls.
Owls. We got two now. Two students there. I like it. Let's go Owls.
We'll go to the next game, and I can't wait for this game. Gonzaga, UCLA. UCLA is a 1.5 point favorite, 145.5 for the over-under. I'll start this. Just like you, Kenny, one of my brackets I did, I got UCLA winning it. In a couple brackets, I got Gonzaga winning it. But for this, for gambling purposes, again, this is another game tomorrow where I will go alternate line. I will bump up Gonzaga +9, +10, put them in a parlay. This is going to be a hard game, man. I think the winner of this game gets to the Final Four. I'm going to take Gonzaga because I have them more. But I will definitely do it with an alternate line and take more points. Kenny.
Jody's taking the Zags, and I'm going to take the Zags because I need them. I can't have them lose this early, otherwise my bracket's busted. So, all joking aside, I think this team. I told you, Kurt. I know I told you. I don't know if I told anybody else. If this team plays some defense, talking about Gonzaga, this team plays some defense in this tournament, they're going to make a run. So tomorrow you put up or shut up. It's time to play some defense tomorrow against the UCLA team. I do think whoever wins this game tomorrow goes to the Final Four. So I think it's that big of a game, and I think it's going to be the best game of the week to watch talent-wise. So looking forward to it late night tomorrow night. I'm going to take Gonzaga, and I would bump it up to like 2 if I was betting it. Get the even spread there. So +2, I would take that game.
Okay. Carson.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kurt. I think the winner of this game gets to the Final Four. But I got to go with my boy Joey Clams. We got to go with UCLA, UCLA. I think Mick Cronin. I think he's due to get back into the dance and make it further run. I really like Jaime Jaquez. He can shoot the ball. Tiger Campbell, he's a good point guard. Give me UCLA money line.
Clams.
Yeah, I got the total for you. I went under 146.5 on this game. You got
145.5 on FanDuel.
Right? I'll go under. I already laid it, but I'll go under 145 again. And like with piggyback off with Kenny, Gonzaga does play a little better defense than they did in the past, and UCLA is all about defense and slowing it down. And they're physical. They even though they lost their best guard, they still got good guard play. This game is going to be probably the most maybe low 70s, and it's going to be in the mid 60s. That's why I'm on the under. Give me UCLA. I already laid them on the money line, but whatever you got here, I lay them. UCLA wins by 3-4 this game. 6-4.
I'm reluctant on the spread part of the game, but I'd money line the Browns on this one.
Okay, let's move into Friday night. I'll start this with Carson. San Diego State, Alabama. Alabama is a 7.5 point favorite, 137.5 for over under Clams. But what do you got, Ryan?
So in terms of I gotta still go with Alabama here. I think that I would probably money line the Tide here. I think San Diego State could make it interesting, but I just think there's too much firepower on the Tide side of things. I've been saying, I think that they're one of the 2 top teams in this whole tournament. I don't see this being a particularly a game that comes down to the final second.
Scoops, I'm with you. Again, not laying 7.5. I will not do it, but I think Alabama wins. I think Alabama is one of the, like you said, top 2 or 3 teams in the country. San Diego State, I think, will play, they're senior laden, right? They got the experience, so they'll be there. That's why I'll never lay points, but I'm going to go money line Alabama. Carson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Aztecs. I really like what they did over Furman. Really impressive win. They didn't get barely by them. They took care of business. They beat them by 23. Same case with Alabama. They take care of their own against Maryland in the round of 32. This is going to be a really interesting matchup. San Diego State has a lot of size, a lot of athleticism. I'm going to go with the points, but if there's a 1 seed that could be upset, I like the San Diego State team a lot. Give me points and give me a little pizza money on money line San Diego State.
Brad saying our group almost broke a TV at the bowling alley.
Oh my
gosh. Clams.
Is this the NFL Today show when you're not picking with the spreads?
We're picking with the spread.
You got to lay $240 to win $100.
No. I'm going to parlay them. I never said I'm going to bet them straight out. I'm going to parlay them.
Who'd you pick with the points? It's 7.5. Who you picking?
I'll still go Alabama.
Okay. Scoops, who you picking with the 7.5? Who you picking?
With the 7.5, Alabama versus San Diego State, I'm still going to go with the tie.
There you go, baby. Attaboy, Ryan. Attaboy. Clams, where you going?
Hey, you guys are picking on money. That's it.
That's the Joey Clams I've been waiting to hear from.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yes. Give me the Aztecs. The Aztecs play a smart game of basketball. They play good defense, and they can hit the threes. Give me San Diego State Aztecs. And you know what, Kenny? Throw a little pizza money on the money line.
Joe, you know what? I'm going to throw some New Jersey pizza money on the Aztecs. You know why? One, because it's too high of a spread. Karma will bite Alabama, but it's not going to, it may bite them this week. But I'm going to think it's going to be a close game. I think Alabama's going to squeeze by. So give me the points, Joe, because one thing San Diego State is a physical team. I think Carson said they're physical. They got size, and they haven't played a physical game yet, so they're fresh. That Furman game, they dominated. They didn't have to get physical. So they're going to get physical in this game. This could be an outright upset. You guys are right. But I'm going to say close. Alabama wins by 3.
Got the 3 line really good.
By the way, we have 3 more picks, and Clams, besides the Gonzaga UCLA game, still haven't given another over-under. So for all that over-under he's giving nothing.
When you're a professional, you're supposed to give out the totals. If I ever call,
I am. What do you mean? I'm giving them out. I give them every game.
You keep saying something. Let me answer your question. You said when you're a professional, you give out the line and the total. That's what the game is. That's all.
But I am doing that.
I called your office and you only gave me the line and you didn't give me the total, then I know you're a chump office. That's a professional. You give
office. We're talking about 30 years ago. Office. There's no offices anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's done with a little button these days.
Mr. Kirkpatrick and his Miami Hurricanes will lead into this one against the Houston Cougars. Houston, 7.5 over under Clams, 138.5. I'll start this one, Kenny. I'm not going to lie. Saturday night, I said, going into the second round, I said, wow, Houston, Sasser's injured again. They got to play Auburn in Birmingham. They're done, man. They're down by 9, down by 10.5. I said, they're done. All my Houston tickets are ripped up. Next thing you know, I look, whoa, Houston's up 3. I'm telling you, that Houston win, that was their game. That was the game that really showed what they were. They got blasted by Memphis. Sasser got hurt. He got hurt again in the first round. It was sloppy. And then that second half of that game, it's a road game against a good team in Auburn, right? A road game. And they came back and blew them out. And, I love Miami. I do. Because they always have an advantage in the backcourt with their backcourt, but they don't this week because you got Sheed and you got Sasser. So better backcourt, Houston. 7.5 I would take the points with Miami, but Houston is going to win this game. So I will go Houston money line, but take the points with Miami. That's where I'm going. Carson.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for Kenny's boys in this one. I think they match up well. Again, the question mark with Sasser, is he going to play? Is it going to affect him as much? I'm going to go with the Hurricanes in the points in this matchup.
Upset too, Carson, or no?
The final, if the Final Four wasn't in Houston, I would say maybe, but they're going to somehow rig it for Houston for them to get to the Final Four. So I'm going to go Houston to win, but Miami covers.
All right, Kenny, we'll go last because it's his team. Ryan.
Yeah, no, this game, my opinion, this game's more Cougars than Zach Wilson's phone book. I'm going to go Houston laying the points.
Clams.
That was good, Ryan.
Give me the over in this game.
There it is.
This game's going to be in the mid and the high 70s here. Miami's going to be raining threes, baby. Give me the Hurricanes.
Boy, Joey.
Close with a shot to win at the end.
And Kenny K.
You know what? I just want to set the bar straight. I'd be a fraud if I said I was a college basketball Hurricanes fan. I'm a college football Hurricanes fan, but I am pulling for them, and I want them, because they're there. I do want to see them succeed, obviously. So I will be obviously rooting for them. I'm going to maybe disagree somewhat with you, Kurt. You said Houston's backcourt is way better than Miami's. I don't know about
I didn't say way better. I said Miami always has an advantage in the backcourt, but I'm going to give, I'll say, a slight advantage to Sheed and Sasser.
Okay. Fair enough. But I'm going to say that this backcourt is equal to Houston's backcourt of Sasser, and I'm going to easily take these points, and I'm even going to throw a small little, celebrated, break the bank type of money line bet here and take the Canes on the money line. They're going to win this game.
Well, good, Kenny. I hope Miami does. You money line when you come down, you treat to the steakhouse. How's that?
Fair enough.
We're from Miami. All right, 2 more games. We got Xavier, Texas. I'll start this with Kenny. Texas is a 4.5-point favorite, 148.5 over under.
You know what? I got Texas in my bracket. But I was going into the tournament. I thought Xavier was going to get beat as a 3 seed in the first round. They didn't. I thought Xavier was going to get beat in the second round. They didn't. What's the spread here again?
4.5.
Texas favored 4.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Xavier with the 4.5. This is going to be one of those nail biter games. One possession game. It's going to come down to a last shot. It's going to be a 2 or 3 point game. I'm going to still go Texas winning this, but I'm going to take Xavier with the points.
All right. Jody's saying Texas national champs. And I'll just tell you this, Kenny. Thankfully, they didn't get beat by Kennesaw State or whatever the college is, because I needed them in all these parlays. And luckily, I hit them because I needed Xavier just not to lose that game, because I added them in. And I got very lucky on there. So I do respect them. But here's another team where I said I'm not doing this in the tournament, because Xavier's a kind of a team they can go 1 for 10 from 3, 2 for 20 from 3. And that just scares me. Texas scores. Texas got, I think, the better outside shooting. So, again, 4.5 is a lot of points. I know Clams don't want to hear it, but I would moneyline Texas. And even for the show, I would give the 4.5 points, because I do think they win. So I'm going to go Texas. Ryan.
Yeah, no, you guys were just talking about steakhouses. I think Xavier's going to go to Texas Longhorn Steakhouse in this game. I think that it's going to be I still think that Texas can win, but I definitely am taking the cover for Xavier on this one. I think this could be a potential upset.
Right, I want to give props to Carson, because he almost pulled off that upset. He had Xavier getting beat in the first round. It was close for a long time.
Carson, I was thinking about you saying, if this friggin' Xavier team loses, man, and screws me. And luckily they finished on like a 16-2 run.
Yeah.
But they were down by like 13 or 14 late in the second half. So, Clams, what do you got on this one?
The eyes of Texas are upon you. Texas wins. Texas covers this game.
We'll do it. What is it, like this, right? No, is that it? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, the Horns.
The Horns.
Yeah, I'm on Texas Longhorns. Listen, they lost their coach in the beginning of the year, and they stuck together. They're still a talented team, and they've been blending. Give me Longhorns. I like Longhorns to get to the Final Four. Give me Texas in this game. Like what you were saying, Kurt, before, the Musketeers, they could go on a bad shoot.
Yep, they could.
You don't want to do that against Texas because then you ain't going to catch up. You'll be in trouble. Give me
Jody's giving the Horns. And
Kurt, how many more games do we got? Oh, I'm sorry.
One more. We got one more.
Okay.
After this, Carson, real quick. Xavier, Texas, 4.5.
Yeah, Hook. I like Marcus Carr. He's a difference maker in this game. I'm not a huge fan of Xavier. Give me Texas to cover. Marcus Carr's
All right.
difference.
I'll come right
back.
No,
I was just asking. No,
I got one more because I know
okay.
Carson's got to run. I got one more.
Yep.
Princeton, Creighton. It's not on FanDuel because obviously Princeton's from Jersey. Carson, I'll go to you. Creighton, 9.5 over Princeton.
Yeah, give me Princeton with the cover. I feel like they've had fight and potential this whole run. You know, they got past Arizona, which was a huge upset, 15-2. And then I think the more impressive one was getting past Missouri. Missouri was a really good basketball team, and they're here and they're going to have a good time with Creighton. I think they cover this game. I think Creighton wins, but Princeton is going to cover. Maybe a little pizza mine on Princeton. Why not?
Kenny, you know where I'm going on this because you ain't going to find anyone. And Joey Clams, you could back me up. I've always been high on Creighton since last year. They had without 2 or 3 starters, and they played in the Sweet 16. Second round against the national champs Kansas last year, and were probably 40 seconds away from beating them. McDermott's a great coach. This team can shoot. They got a big. They rebound. They play defense. I'm telling you, Creighton, man, is the real deal. And I got one bracket with Creighton winning the whole thing. And you know what? They're legit. So I'll take Creighton again. I'll lay them because Creighton's good, man. They hit free throws, hit threes. I'll go Creighton. Clams.
Yeah, there's no flaws in Creighton's game. They can do everything. Every part of the game they're good at. And I like their coach. It might be close in the first half, 5 points at halftime. By the second half, Creighton's it's a boat race. They're winning in double digits, at least by 12, 15 points.
Scoops.
Chase.
Yeah, no, this I think is going to be the biggest mismatch of the whole the next 2 days. I'm easily laying the points with Creighton. It's been a good run for Princeton. It's not every day you see a 15 get to this point, but I think that their run ends here. I'm taking Creighton and laying the points.
And Kenny.
Creighton, Kurt, I'm with you. These double-digit teams that make the runs usually, the momentum leaves them because they got a few days off. So, I'm going to take Creighton close first half, Joe. So I would look at the first half line and take maybe Princeton in the first half. But second half, I think Creighton's experience pulls away late and wins by double digits, like you said.
All right.
The dogs in the first. People have been betting the first 15. Whoever gets to the first 15, this weekend, the dogs 24 dogs came to the first 15 on the money line. So points too. So
wow,
you could bet that to the first 15. Take a dog like Connecticut was down 13-3. Xavier. A lot of teams were down. Purdue, but the first 15, the dogs came through.
All right, Mr. K, that does the wits and wagers. That was good to do that again.
That felt good, guys. Carson's got to leave us. He's got a stream going on tonight. So why don't we get any final thoughts he has and see what he's got to say in his final thoughts before he leaves us.
Great show. As always, guys, looking forward to talking with you guys every single week. It's the highlight of my Wednesday nights. And, make sure you guys gamble responsibly first and foremost. Enjoy the games, but don't get too overboard as well. Got a huge game tomorrow night for my Spartans. Hopefully we can pull it off. And then hopefully we're still dancing by the time Saturday comes around. So should be really interesting. But, have a great rest of your night, guys, and thanks for watching the stream.
Thanks, Carson. Where are you heading? Let our audience know where we can find you.
If you guys like casino content, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook. Just search up Ticket Time. We're live usually almost every day over there. So find me over there.
Quick congratulations from Jody. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, Jody's saying congratulations on your new safety from the Philly. And Brad's saying 10,000 a day wagering.
Oh, call Joey Clam, so he got you, Brad. We'll look you up. That's a man right there. He heard 10G. Look at his eyes light up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Carson.
I
Carson, we'll see you in a little while. But
Yep, sounds good. Thanks,
Have a
Jody.
good night.
Yep.
Carson.
See you guys.
get you 20% back if you want.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, Mr. K, what we got going
All right,
on?
well, see if Jody's going to join us. If not, he's in the chat still. He's supposed to join us for Bronco Mania, but I'm going to skip the 5 stories. I'll just go through a couple of them real quick. I had five stories in New York. The same crap's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Don't know what's going on yet. No move is made yet. I'll save the questions for next week. We'll see if something happens there. Edwin Diaz, we know he got hurt over in the World Baseball Classic. That was my number 4 story. Number 3, Tobin Anderson, the Fairleigh Dickinson head coach, took the Iona head coaching job. Number 2, Kurt, you said in your opening statements, Rick Pitino going to your boys St. John's. And number 1, I see you, Jody. We're going to get to you in a second, bud. We'll give us 1 minute and we'll bring you in. Number 1, Kurt, I do want to just mention loss of Ryan mentioned it in his opening thoughts, but I'll let Clams and you say a couple words in 30 seconds or less about Willis Reed. Kurt, why don't you start?
Yeah, I'll go first, Clams. Listen, obviously I wasn't old enough to see either championship, 69-70 and 72-73. But, hey, he's on my wall with one of my 2 NBA championships. He'll be up on the Nick wall again. And it was kind of, Jen and I went to the Pelican game, Knicks Pelicans, maybe about 3 weeks ago. And they honored the 50th anniversary team. And obviously Willis wasn't there, but Willis did do like a video speaking about to the team since he was the captain. So rest in peace to the captain and one of the best Knicks of all time.
Joe, anything real quick on Willis Reed before we say hello to Jody?
When I was a 7-year-old, and I remember that the games were on delay, but that was the captain, and I loved Clyde Frazier. That was my Knick of all time. Bill Bradley, that whole team, the Busher. That was my when I was a kid, and I haven't seen anything since then. But when he walked out of the tunnel that time against the Lakers, and Chamberlain just stared at him. And he came on the court, and you heard Marv Albert say, "Here comes Willis Reed out of the tunnel." It gives you chills. Go back and watch that game, and Clyde Frazier won the game single-handedly.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Guys, let me welcome Jody Moncrief to the show. Jody's over there with the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, Denver Bronco Roundup. You can catch them on Tuesday nights. I told Jody what I was going to do for Bronco Mania and invited him on tonight, Kurt, for Bronco Mania, and he was more than, willing to come on, and we want to thank you, Jody, for joining us for a short little Briggsy Bronco Mania segment.
No, thanks for having me.
What's up, Jody?
What's up?
So,
by the way, Jen says to me the other day, because Jody was giving her a couple of digs with the Tony Bennett. Jen says to me, "You're not joking. You and Jody are the same person." I said, "Damn right, man. Damn right."
Well, we're going to see if they're the same person, because I got a little fun and Joey and Ryan, you can play along as well.
Cool.
We got a March Madness.
Kenny, just remember this, because you have a habit to forget things. Just remember, come next football season, who the 2 top Russ supporters were. That's all I'm going to tell you. Jody and I.
Joey Clams will remember. Joey Clams will remember.
Just remember that.
That's right. I don't forget nothing.
My Briggsy Bronco Mania segment tonight in honor of Briggsy, and figure it's March Madness. So came up with a sweet 16, but we're going to call it a sour 16 of Bronco quarterbacks. So we're looking for the worst of the worst. So I got the the number 1 seed. Number 1 seed's the favorite to get to the finals, as opposed to number 16. So Joey and Ryan will play along as well. I'll go to our guest first. The 1-16 matchup is Paxton Lynch versus Russell Wilson. Who advances?
For the worst quarterback?
Worst.
Paxton Lynch.
Yep. Well, it's a 1-16. We're not getting the we're not going to get a Fairleigh Dickinson here, Kurt. We're going with Lynch.
No, come on.
Clams, Lynch or Russell Wilson?
So now this is who's the worst quarterback here for the Broncos?
Yeah. Who was worse?
If you're going on Broncos, Russell Wilson had a terrible year.
He's going Fairleigh Dickinson upset here. Ryan, Lynch or do you know Paxton Lynch, or are you gonna take a pass?
Oh no! I know Paxton Lynch all too well. My grandfather wanted Cleveland to draft him.
Luckily for him, they didn't.
Well, he and I have been arguing about Baker Mayfield for 5 years. So, but no, in terms of Paxton Lynch, I mean, what is he? I think he's in like the XFL now or something.
Yeah, he got benched like twice
got
already.
benched there too.
Yeah.
Yes, so something to that regard. No, I agree that what's his name, that Wilson was bad last year by his standards, but even he wasn't as bad as Paxton Lynch was in the whatever it was, the 5 or 6 games that he actually played. Give me Paxton Lynch as the worst quarterback there.
I'll take Paxton Lynch. I want to take Russ, but I'll take Lynch. So Lynch advances to the second round. Kurt, Joe Flacco, the 8 seed against Gus Frerotte, the 9 seed.
Yeah.
It's an 8-9. It's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna have to go Flacco just because there was more. What's the word? More.
Now it's only Broncos' career, so
expectations on him. Yeah, I'll go Flacco.
Jody, Flacco or Frerotte?
Flacco, because they always said he was getting him in his
prime.
His prime, and
he
definitely wasn't in his prime.
Clams, Flacco or Frerotte?
Oh, I gotta go for Ryan. Again, that guy called. Oh, he was terrible.
I'm gonna go with Clams with Frerotte. So Ryan's gonna be the tiebreaker. Flacco or Frerotte?
I don't even know who Frerotte is.
So it's gonna be Flacco.
Take him
Fair enough. We'll give you Flacco.
Wasn't Gus Frerotte the one that headbutted himself? And
in the mat or the goalpost. Yeah,
these are the Bronco quarterbacks we're talking about here, Joe.
So by default, I'm taking Frerotte because I don't know who he is.
No, we're gonna take Flacco, right? Because
no, I'm taking because since I don't know who he is, he must have not been good. So I'm taking Frerotte.
All right, fair enough. We'll go Frerotte.
So Frerotte moves on, right?
Yeah, Ferrotte's second round. It's not like he's gonna make. It's not like Lynch is gonna lose in that 1-9. Jody, Kyle Allen or Brian Greasy, the 5-12 matchup.
Oh, Kyle Allen.
Kurt, we getting a 5-12 upset here?
No, I mean, come on, Greasy was a legit quarterback. Allen was. I mean, he couldn't throw the ball 30 yards. Come on, I'm taking Kyle Allen. Not Kyle Allen. What was his name? What was it?
Brandon
Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Oh, I was
right. Kyle Allen was with the Redskins and the
Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon Allen. I think that's going to be unanimous, right? Brandon Allen, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Greasy had big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Coming in after Elway.
I'll go Joey Clams first on this one. Jeff Driscoll or Kyle Orton? 4-13.
Driscoll or Orton? I'm gonna go Orton.
Gonna go Orton. Ryan, do you know either one of these two?
I know both of them.
Okay, no, I'm just checking because I know some of these are a little older. No,
you're good. You're good. No, Kyle Orton. I mean, I obviously I know him mostly from his Dallas days, but no. For the two of them, if you're just looking at how they did in Denver, which is what I think you said, then no, Driscoll was worse.
I'm gonna let the Bronco guys decide it. So I'm gonna go Driscoll in this one. Kurt, Driscoll or Orton?
Well, I'm just gonna say this. First off, that moron Josh McDaniels traded Jay Cutler because he wanted him. First off, he wanted Matt Castle. Which would have been another nightmare. But Kyle Orton started off 6-0. I hate quarterbacks like Kyle Orton, who, again, Kyle Orton, he's 21 for 22 for 10 yards. Nope, I'm taking Orton. Get him out. Both of them, Bab. I'm taking Orton.
Jody, we getting a 4-13 upset here, or are we gonna go with the favorite, Driscoll?
Nah, Orton. They say Russell Wilson was the worst trade. That was probably the worst trade for Jay Cutler.
We got our first upset of the tournament here. And or in advances as the 13th seed. We'll go to Ryan first on this one. Trevor Siemian, the 6th seed, or Case Keenum, the 11th seed?
Trevor Siemian. This is the other thing is I'm having to look at exactly just what they did in Denver. Trevor Siemian actually I don't think was too terrible in Denver from what I remember. Like compared to some of the other guys that we've had. And then who was the other name you said?
Case
Keenum.
Keenum, right. So of these two, I would probably go. Yeah, give me Keenum because he, in my opinion, he had not as good of a season as either of the 2 seasons that Siemian had.
Kurt.
This is hard because I didn't like either one of these guys. But I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Siemian. I mean, but you know what? He did come in from, being whatever he was, undrafted or, picking him up. And Keenum was our prize free agent. I just remember, Joe, do you remember this one on a Monday night against Kansas City? I'll never forget. I woke Jen up. I'm like, Demarius Thomas.
Wide open.
Underthrew him. Keenum. Keenum.
Jody.
Keenum. I mean, Siemian, he went 9-7 his first year, and I'll never forget that game against Tennessee when Benny Fowler dropped that touchdown, or they're probably making the playoffs again in 16 with him.
Joey
and that
Slam.
was the talk in 17 is
Keenum.
Is he getting big
Everybody
payday?
what he did at the Vikings, and then he was terrible.
All right, guys, let's let the Bronco
Who moves?
guys.
Keenum moves?
Keenum moves.
Keenum.
Let's let the Bronco guys comment on these, and then we'll do the rest of these quick hitter for us, guys, because it's getting late. Jody, Kendall Hinton, kind of by default, has to be the 3 seed here, or Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, I mean, he never panned out. I thought he never lived up to expectations, and I mean, what can you say about Kendall Hinton? He never even started a game for Denver. It was technically the running back, I guess.
Who you got here?
So,
sorry.
Kendall Hinton, and who did you say again?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. I'll go Drew Lock.
Going Lock in the upset. Kurt.
Nah, Lock's my boy. He dealt with Pat Shurmur, Scangarello, who he fired, Vic Fangio. Now I'm taking. The guy's a receiver. I'm not going with my boy.
All right, Joe. It's 1-1. Who you going with?
What's his name? What's the guy's name?
Kendall Hinton.
Yeah. He's not a quarterback, so he don't even belong there. Yeah. Give me him.
Ryan, who you going with?
So because he's not a quarterback, I'm going with Drew Lock because Drew Lock was actually expected to do well as a quarterback, and Kendall Hinton never was. So because of the expectations, I'm taking Drew Lock.
God,
Kenny, it's up to you.
Tough. You all make good points, man. You all make good points. But Drew Lock's now a backup in Seattle. It's like he never panned out. And
the fact that he couldn't beat out Geno Smith last year.
Yeah, I know it's all about Denver. He did get some wins though in Denver with some bad coaches. I'm gonna go Kendall Hinton by default.
Geno had a great year. Geno was.
I know if it was based on Seattle, I would have done it, but it's only on Denver, and he did win some games in Denver, so I'll go Kendall Hinton. Kurt, one of your favorites, Teddy Bridgewater, the 7th seed against Brett Rippon, the 10th seed.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If it's not for Paxton Lynch, Bridgewater might be my worst quarterback. I couldn't stand him. 3rd and 9, he's throwing 2 yards. I'm taking Bridgewater any day of the week.
Jody.
Bridgewater all day. I mean, when he didn't try to make that tackle against Philly, it was over for me after that.
Ryan.
Statistically, Bridgewater actually might have had the best season of all the quarterbacks we've talked about so far when it comes to Denver.
What the hell does that tell us? That's how bad it was for us.
was. I don't know how much things have changed so far.
It'll
But
change. Trust me.
yeah, and also I was a Brett Rippon guy coming out of the draft, so I was really disappointed by him. So for that as well, I'll take Brett Rippon.
2-1 Clams.
Brett Rippon.
I'll give it to the Bronco guys only because they know their Broncos more. So I'll give it to Bridgewater. Last one, guys, in the first round, and then we're going to rapid fire the rest of this because it's
Okay.
Jody, Brock Osweiler against Tim Tebow.
Oh. I'm going to go with Tebow because without Brock Osweiler, you probably are not winning a Super Bowl that year when he came in for Manning.
Kurt.
But that's a hard one.
This is hard for me, man. I don't want to pick one because you know what? Tebow won a playoff game. You know what? By default, I'm going to take Brock. I'm going to go with Brock with the answer. But like Jody's right. I mean, he won so many games in 15 for us. So I'm going to take Brock as the winner on this one. So I'll stay with Tebow.
You're going Tebow?
No. I'm going Brock.
Brock. Joey, you going with the Princeton upset, or are you going to go Osweiler here?
Who's the worst quarterback?
Yeah, Osweiler or Tebow.
Well, like what he said, he held it together. You know what? Without him playing when Manning was out, maybe they don't get home field advantage and don't win that game. So Tebow's got to go. Tebow's out.
Tebow's out. Ryan.
Tebow's my favorite player of all time. I'm taking Osweiler.
2-2 again. Me. Who you guys went 1-1? Oh man. All right, I'm going to pull the Princeton upset here. I'm going to go Tebow.
Damn.
So Tebow's out.
Tebow advances.
Yeah.
All right. Rapid fire. What I'll do is if you guys both agree, Kurt and Jody,
Then
go
they
advance.
go.
If you guys are
Okay.
split, I'll go to either Clams or Ryan
Gotcha.
for a tiebreaker.
Gotcha.
Kurt, Paxton Lynch, Gus Frerotte.
Lynch.
Lynch.
Lynch advances. Allen. Who we got here? Allen or
Orton.
Allen or Orton? Yep.
Who's
you
up?
You going Orton?
I'm going Orton.
I'm going Orton.
13 seed to the Final Four. Keenum or Hinton? Jody?
Who's up?
Hinton, probably.
Yeah, Hinton.
Kurt? Hinton. And Kurt, Bridgewater or Tebow?
Bridgewater.
Jody?
Bridgewater.
Okay, we don't need a tiebreaker. So Final Four time. Kurt, Lynch or Orton?
Lynch.
I know. I wish there was somebody. Jody, Lynch or Orton?
Lynch.
Come right back to Jody. Hinton or Bridgewater?
Hinton.
Kurt.
You know, Bridgewater.
Although Bridgewater was horrible.
Bridgewater.
I'll give Ryan the tiebreaker on this one, and then Jody. We'll all get a vote in the final. Hinton or Bridgewater there, Ryan?
No, like I said, I exempt Hinton because he was never supposed to play quarterback. So Bridgewater.
There you go.
All right, Kurt. Let's see. Finals.
That's what the analytics say, Kurt.
There you go. There's the analytics. Listen, even analytics that don't even exist couldn't help decide this quarterback.
We got in the finals the favorite. We'll go with Paxton Lynch, the Alabama Crimson Tide, against Carson's Michigan State, and led by Tom Izzo, Teddy Bridgewater to the finals. Kurt.
I'm up.
Lynch or Bridgewater?
Listen, I'll be honest. I liked Lynch. I never liked Teddy Bridgewater. I just don't like that kind of quarterback. But I got to take Paxton Lynch. He was a first-round pick. We took him after we won a Super Bowl. He was just an absolute nightmare. So Lynch would be the only other person I would pick over Bridgewater, but I'm going to go Lynch.
So the magic gloves end here in the finals for Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Jody, Lynch or Bridgewater?
Lynch, he set this franchise back.
Joey Clams, Lynch or Bridgewater?
Lynch.
Ryan, Lynch or Bridgewater?
Yeah, no, Lynch. And I think, again, Bridgewater had actually not bad of a season for just statistically for Denver.
I agree with you. This was a huge upset to get to the finals, but the Bronco guys know their quarterbacks. The fans, I should say, not the Broncos know their quarterbacks. The fans know their quarterbacks. And you guys suffered for a long time. Hopefully things change around this year. So Paxton Lynch wins the worst quarterback of Broncos history. That was a little Bronco Mania March Madness style for you boys tonight for Briggsy. Hope you enjoyed it, Kurt. Jody?
No, great.
Yeah, great.
Appreciate you coming on tonight, Kurt. Is it that time for, fortunately, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Let's do final thoughts. I'll start out. I'll start out with final thoughts. Jody, you'll hang out for final thoughts, right?
Yep.
All right. So my final thoughts is this, and I'm going to go back a couple years. So within the last 4 years, from last year going back, I have 4 teams that I follow. I love: Knicks, Auburn, St. John's, and of course the Broncos. So within the last 4 years, my coaches were David Fizdale, Brian Harsin, Nathaniel Hackett, and Mike Anderson. Now, Tom Thibodeau, Hugh Freeze, Sean Payton, and Rick Pitino. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. That's all I have to say. The good times are ahead. Let's go. Final thoughts. Enjoy the games. Clams, final thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know, with the money line bets, I'm just going to try to help you here. If you think the line like a 4.5 is too much to lay, wait, don't play it now. Wait till the game gets live. Like when Connecticut, they were a 2.5, 3.5 point favorite. They were down 13-3. They were getting points, and you're going to grab some money on the money line. Wait and bet the game live. If you're weary about laying those points, wait till the game gets live and bet. You're going to be standing on top of a bridge, jumping off lane 240, 280, 3-1 on these games. And when you get snake bitten and lose, you'll be jumping off that bridge. I hope you got a raft there, Spider.
So let's go to Spider.
Wait, hold on. Let's get a best bet from Joe. You got a best bet tomorrow or Friday?
Yeah.
Give me one game, Joe. One best bet.
Under UCLA, the 146.5. Even go under the 145. Go under that game.
Love it. Joey one and only Joey Clams back for Wits and Wagers. Sweet 16 style.
Let's go to Spider. What are your final thoughts?
How y'all doing? Just can't wait. We're about a week out from baseball season starting. I can't wait to see what the Yankees do this year. Hope everybody can stay healthy. Very excited to be heading out tomorrow to Louisiana for the first time, see my potential future school, taking a visit to Loyola Law on Friday morning. Very excited about that. Also just very grateful. Yesterday marked 1 year since an unexpected neurosurgery that I had, and I've never felt better than I have in the last couple months.
Awesome.
So just grateful to my doctors, my family, and my Lord and Savior that everything has gone as well as it has.
God bless you. Good
Amen
luck.
on that one.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, Ryan. I was holding off on the congratulations until we heard the official word. You got the acceptance in there, so I wanted.
Yeah, I haven't committed yet,
Right.
but I am visiting tomorrow.
Yep.
I am visiting tomorrow.
So
So.
for those
Jackie?
who don't know, Ryan's, like you say, he's going to school. He's looking at a school in Louisiana, Loyola Marymount Law School, right, of New Orleans. Is that?
It's Loyola, New Orleans.
Sorry, yeah, Loyola, New Orleans in.
And Jackie D is giving him a shout out saying, enjoy Loyola.
We wish you the best of luck, and we hope we come back with some good news.
Jody,
Thank you so much.
Final thoughts. Yes, of course. Good luck, Ryan.
Thank you.
Jody, final thoughts. Anything.
Every day you listen to Broncos radio, somebody has to bash Russ, and that's just fueling the fire. He is going to come out and prove the haters wrong next year and have an incredible season. And hope for a speedy recovery for Jose Altuve. That's a huge loss for the Astros. Out 8 to 10 weeks with that broken thumb surgery.
You know what I think, Jody? You know what I think? I'm serious. And this is for our good guy. But again, happy birthday, Dave Slade. And I'm talking to Staffy Arrows. Like, they should be banned from wearing Russ jerseys next year. If you bash Russ, no jerseys. I don't want to see them rocking the green.
Right.
Hey, Russ, man. Russ. No.
Oh my God.
No, because they bash him too much. Not me and Jody, though. We're 1 and 2 on the Russ bandwagon. That's all I'm going to say.
And then
Jody,
my last thought is the Nuggets, they better start picking it up. I mean, they've been the 1 seed all year in the West. They just got destroyed by the Knicks over the weekend. Been playing horrible basketball as of late. They better pick it up or it'll be an early first-round exit.
Quick plug about Denver Bronco Roundup, Jody, where we can find you.
Every Tuesday night, 6:30 Mountain Time, with Keith Brugman and Albert Knoppers. Always dive into good Broncos topics. On for about an hour and a half every Tuesday.
The best trio in Denver podcast.
Catch us on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network.
And you know what? Albert's going to be Albert's got a shirt going. # Alexander Madison. He wants Alexander Madison, Kurt.
Yeah.
Broncos.
Jody, I drafted Jose Altuve in fantasy this week, and I think I need to go to confession for that. So I hope that he comes back, at least for that standpoint.
I mean, they've been saying it was karma because of the trash cans 4 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
You know what, Kurt? We should do a little free one. Few of us.
Yeah. I'm down
Carson,
for that.
Ryan, Jody, if
I'm
he's
down for
interested,
that.
we could do a little. We could stack the teams. Just do like four teams. Or
And load up on teams.
Loaded stacked teams. Yeah.
And Mr.
fun.
Kirkpatrick, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Congratulations, Kurt. Rick Pitino. Tomorrow, let's for those for the few out there whose brackets aren't busted, good luck to you. I am alive in 3 of my 4 brackets. The one bracket I'm out is the one that everybody else is out. So I'm still got a decent shot here. Sweet 16's where the money's to be made. You know, contenders are contenders, and the pretenders are pretenders. So that being said,
I don't know what you just said on that, but it sounded pretty good. Pretenders are pretenders. I don't know what you just said. It sounded pretty good.
yeah, it's time to go on that one. That was the
Ryan, you use that this weekend when you go to Loyola. You use that. That'd be pretty. You'll have them. They'll have no answer for you.
Ryan, I think he malfunctioned.
Yeah, malfunctioned is right. Kurt needed to give you some cards. You could have passed around some K&K sport cards out there, man. Damn. Next time. Yeah. I'm kidding. But no, good show. Good luck to Ryan. Enjoy your trip to New Orleans, and
thank you so
hope
much.
you come back with some good news. Hope you like the campus, and look forward to the weekend with sports, guys. Thanks again to Jody, all the commenters out there for listening in and being with us each and every week.
Hey, Ryan, anytime you want to talk Yankee baseball, I'll educate you. I'll talk to you about baseball.
There you go.
We'll have some fun. Excuse me. I don't think you're in the text chat, but I'll find a way to contact you.
There we go.
All right,
boys.
guys.
Have a good one.
Good luck.
Good night.